Welcome back to the pick.
Welcome back to the show, you
We're
guys.
gonna be talking about the Browns versus the Ravens. Browns winning this one 40-25. Big upset to a degree. A lot of people were counting the Browns out, saying that they're gonna get smacked in this game. We didn't do a preview for this one, but we both had it close. I was gonna end up probably picking the Browns. Ryan.
Yeah, I was actually going to pick the Browns as well.
So we both thought Browns were gonna win this one. Really close game, and it got out of hand. It was even more lopsided than that final score. Final score had a touchdown from the Ravens. That was kind of a garbage time touchdown. So let's talk about what happened. Some stats knocked out. Bake had a really good game, about 320-ish yards, touchdown, one interception, which kind of wasn't his fault. Juice Landry needed to get in the way of the defender, and he kind of just
stopped and let him intercept it.
That's technically on the stat sheet. It's on Baker, but it really is on Juice. Juice had a really good game though. He had 160-ish yards.
67.
And Chubb had an amazing game. He had 160-ish yards and three touchdowns. So I was really impressed with the offense, man. The line did really well. Baker only got sacked once. And our defense sacked Lamar Jackson 4 times. And they got a lot of pressure. Made him be precise with the passes.
Yep.
Which kind of what the Chargers did in the playoffs. And I think more teams are going to be doing this. Is take everything out deep ball wise and just make him beat you with short dink and dunk precision passes. And that's kind of the thing he needs to work on. Lamar Jackson's kind of coming down to earth. The first 2 games he did amazing, but he was playing against some trash teams. And last week he didn't do great until that second half of the Chiefs game, and this whole game he didn't play very well. He threw some passes should have been picked. He should have got a couple picks last week as well. So he's going to have to prove his accuracy. I'm still really high on Action Jackson's. The worries that I had last year and coming into the draft is kind of rearing his ugly head again. That he's gotten better, he's gotten bigger, he's more accurate than he was. In this league, accuracy is the most important thing, really, and he's still gonna have to work on that as well. Turnovers really cost the Ravens. Lamar Jackson had 2. That Ingram fumble really turned the tide of the game, and you gotta give it to the Browns. They had a really bad month. Someone tweeted that they had one of the worst months they could possibly have, and they're still 2-2. So that should tell you all you need to know. This team's a really talented team. I think Kitchen's a better coach than a lot of people are thinking. Quick thing in all 22, someone pointed out that maybe that 4th and 9 draw wasn't on Coach Kitchen. Maybe that was on Baker. Baker might have thought that it was 3rd down. He checked out the play and he ran that play. Coach Kitchens, after the play, looked on the sideline like, what was that? Like he didn't call that. So that might have been that. And if that was the case, Baker should have taken responsibility for that. But maybe it wasn't, so I don't know. Maybe Kitchen was just being a koofus last week. But he did a really good job, really creative. Do 22 personnel, 2 tight ends, run the ball down the throat. Which is a lot of the thing team needs to do. They need to be a run-first team because this line still sucks. I do think they need to get OBJ more involved. He only had 2 catches, only a couple targets. So I had to get him more involved because if he's only having 2 catches, he's going to eventually start getting pissed off, which honestly I think that's kind of right. He should get more targets and catches than that. So
I think I'm going to explain what happened in that game.
Okay, go ahead. But really, great win by the Browns. We can't take too much of everything. Browns still had issues. Their line still sucks. They're still a really young team. They still haven't committed some penalties. They cut it down a lot, went to 6. But
yeah, that's still kind of their problem.
That's still an issue. And injuries, man. That secondary's been playing really well the last couple weeks, but eventually that's going to bite them. So they need to get some people back. And Garrett didn't do very well this game, but Vernon had Vernon had a sack. A couple other guys had a sack as well. I think Obijobi had a sack.
He played really well in that game.
And the other guy had a sack. I can't remember his number off the top of my head. But So they did very well. Let me check that right quick. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, man. I'll go ahead and start with the Ravens. Yeah, man. Offensive wise, it just couldn't quite get the ball down the field, like Adam said.
No, it was Schobert. Schobert.
Schobert, yeah, he had a good game.
Yeah. And Randall did too.
But yeah, man, the offense didn't do great. My opinion, I think they struggled because they don't got necessarily a number one receiver in my eyes. Of course, you could say Hollywood or you know, but he's still young, so he's not. You can't expect him to just be great. Like,
and he's been banged up so far this season.
and they got to build chemistry. So
and Andrews really their best. He's not technically a wide receiver, but really the best wide receiver. He's been hurt
pretty much
as well. So
been their best target.
So the best two targets been hurt. So I'm not going to blame everything on Action Jackson and say, oh, he sucks. No, he's a really good quarterback. Yeah. And he's going to be really, really good quarterback, I think. He needs to get his targets healthy and just needs to improve on certain things.
Yeah, and can't take credit away from the defense of the Browns, man. Mm-hmm. They got pressure on them the majority of the game. And that was quite impressive. I thought they was going to honestly struggle on the defense, especially in the secondary, because Greedy was out and their Denzel Ward was out. So I was kind of honestly going into that game going, this might be an air-rated shootout. But no, man, they did their thing. The guys that filled in for those two starters did their thing, and that defensive line for Browns played really solid. So yeah, man, they made it frustrating for the Ravens. I think that's what happened the majority of the game. They were just frustrating them, man, getting in their face, making Action Jackson throw balls that he don't want to throw it away, make him throw it away. So they did their job, man. I think they should have involved the running game more in that game. I think the Ravens were throwing a little bit too much and trying to get Action Jackson, I guess, going or whatever their case was. I think they threw the ball a little too much in that game. Like I said, defensive wise for the Ravens, I just didn't think they didn't get enough pressure. And there's a reason why, and I'll get to that. But still, I think they should have pressured Bake a little bit more than what they did. Now I'm going to flip it over to the Browns offensive-wise. Yeah, man, I think this is easily Kitchens' one of his best games calling the